help make things so seamless. What are oftentimes, as you say, I mean, trial by fire. You've got to get dropped in quick and start learning quickly. But for the folks, if they've been around a while, it's so much easier to make sure to provide that seamless approach for all the folks. As Sabine and I talked about, the North Carolina Bar Association, which have been coming to Kingston forever, and it really is a regional destination, a name that folks have been using. I think it was 1986, more than 20 years now.
Okay.
But there's groups like that have been coming and wanting to come back. If they take a little hiatus, trying to get them back, it's a lot easier thing.
Well, when you have a resort like that, like this, I mean, you have groups that come back constantly, again and again and again. And, sometimes they just need a change of pace.
Yeah.
And they'll go somewhere else, and hopefully, their meeting goes well, but not too well. And then they come back to us in a couple of years. And that happens to the best of resorts. You want people to get that change, and then they come back, and they'll spend another 5 years with you. But you can't expect those groups to come back, every year for 20 years. But a lot of those groups decide that, I know when Marriott opened, a lot of groups went over there because, they were the new kid on the block. They wanted to see what the Marriott had, and they do a wonderful job there.
Sure.
And, some groups, they will go there one year, they'll come here, they'll go to different hotels in the area, but the main focus is keeping them in Myrtle Beach at this point.
Absolutely, keeping them coming here. Mickey McCamish, who was with us last Wednesday, talking about bringing folks here, using air travel. He's the president of Golf Holiday, doing whatever is possible to get folks here and using the airlines to make sure they're here, particularly for golfers. That also segues a little bit into the destination management company, which you segued off from a little bit from the hospitality industry and doing it, working for groups and doing your own thing. What was that like, Carmine?
Well, it was interesting. It was, I always felt like I had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Sure.
After years of working in bakeries and pizzerias and restaurants and all those types of things, being in the resort business for as long as I was, we work with a lot of destination management companies. And what that is basically a company that says, an area like Myrtle Beach maybe won't have that many, they'll have a couple, but an area like Miami will have many, many destination management companies. And if you're coming down to Miami and your meeting is going to be at whichever resort, you come into Miami International and you need a company that is organizing your airport pickups and bringing you to the hotel and organizing all of your on-site events. Sometimes you'll refer to it as a meeting planning company. We're working with the hotel. We may even book the rooms for them. You may even have, if a company needs someone to handle all the decorations for their large gala night, tablecloths, entertainment, all that type of thing. If they want to go off-site from the hotel and they need, you're taking 300-400 people off-site for dinner, we arrange buses, did all of those types of things so that the client wouldn't have to worry about it.
And you did that down in the Miami area,
Did that in the Miami area? Oh, just only in Miami. We actually traveled a bit, took it on the road to Orlando a couple of times and went up to Jacksonville to do some events there. But mainly down in the Miami area. It was an interesting thing. I got it out of my system, but as crazy as it sounds, I miss the hotel business. I miss the rush of it all. The destination management business, you're busy, and then you're slow, and then you're busy. I just love the
rush of it all. I love it.
And at least I tried it. I know it. And, and you get back in.
And that opened the opportunity to look at Kingston. It was soon thereafter that you entered back into the hotel business.
Right. Actually, right from there, I just decided I wanted to get back into the resort industry, and Kingston happened to have a position open, and I had, just love the East Coast, as you can tell. I've been to Miami, Long Island, and now Myrtle Beach. The Carolinas is a great place to be.
It is. And right here in the heart of it, obviously with it being Heart Month, but we're right in the heart of it. Right. Myrtle Beach, conveniently positioned right in the middle there.
And this resort, right in the middle of North Myrtle Beach and Myrtle Beach itself, it's perfectly positioned, and we're hoping that everybody does come and make this the home for the Heart Ball for the next few years to come.
Oh yeah, well it is, as Joe Delaney said, and I think I mentioned that earlier. It's a returning home after a 4-year sabbatical. Obviously had that year with the opening of the Radisson, now the Sheraton. They've even been through, as you know, some big changes up there, and then the opening year of the Marriott, and worked out a 3-year deal with those folks to make it there. And surely there's opportunities. There's not many places that can house 1,000 folks, and you're all at a position where you could do as much as potentially even 1,200 or around that number. and still have a big dance floor and have big groups. You know, chairman of the board were entertaining the Heartball here a couple of years ago. Obviously, a group like Jumpstart this year, and everything happened so fast, Carmine. For y'all, when you're putting in all this time to prepare for a group of 1,000 to enter your home, essentially.
Exactly.
And then it's over in 5 or 6 hours. What's that like?
Well, it's almost like when you're a bride. You know, you plan this whole wedding and you spend all that time. I mean, months and a year planning that thing, and
right.
You know, it takes 5 hours. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And we've spent so much time, you know, trying to make sure that this event is coming up this Saturday, just making sure that it goes absolutely perfectly.
Right.
And you're right. We just had I just came from a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we have some groups in on the Saturday morning of the Heartball,
right,
and then some checking in the Sunday after,
right.
And you know, it's a motivational thing. You got to keep the staff up. You know,
sure.
They have an event like that, and it's this build up, and then the crescendo is Saturday night. We start all over again Sunday morning. We're busy Sunday morning. We have a couple of large groups coming in.
You know, these banquet event orders, and thank you again. I took a look at one that was provided by either you or Joe or Sabina. Someone gave us that, and you all have those constantly. I mean, those are being filled out, whether it's for the dinner itself, the pre-function, everything that has to happen the day before. There's constantly putting together those event orders, and of course, we don't normally see that. Volunteers don't normally see behind the scenes what's going on, but there is a lot that has to happen. As you say, keeping up the morale, keeping the staff excited about, golly, we got to take down 1,000 seats and get ready for a big crowd coming in the next morning.
Precisely, and Joe does such a wonderful job with organizing, you know, those meetings, and I can't count how many meetings we've had already on it. But a banquet event order meeting could take sometimes over an hour. You're going through, and we're just going through events coming in for the next 2 days.
Right.
But, you know, you have to think of everything and try to go through every last detail of them.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. We'll go through that event order again, and then we'll go through it again on Friday, the day before the event.
That is tremendous. Well, we are, again, so thankful that you all have opened the doors, and seeing Craig, your new executive chef, who's only been around 3 or 4 months, redoing the menu, giving us an opportunity. He's excited about it. Of course, just a couple of weeks ago, some of the Heartball committee members were up here, and he went out of his way to help show off some of the items without showing off everything. I think he's keeping the dessert close to his chest, but of course, for you and Sabina and Terry Harrelson and all the others, top to bottom, you've got 40 or 50 folks that'll be helping make Saturday night's event successful.
Oh, absolutely. There's between the wait staff and the management that'll be there, the rest of the conference services team, Erica and Kim and Katie Goyette, who's our new catering manager.
Yes.
Everybody will be on board to help out.
We want you to know Katie has actually offered to volunteer that night. Is helping out afterwards. She's going to help out. I don't know if she's actually working that day or not. I mean, she's really wanted to make an effort and has offered to help out on checking out and cleaning some stuff up that night. So
actually, Katie's pretty new with us, and Katie's fired up. I mean, we have a very large catering conference services department, but we really haven't tapped into the local catering market as much as we should have, and that was one of my objectives when I came here. I said, you know, we really need to tap into that. Now we have someone who's really, that's her main focus at this point, is to, aside from all the weddings and all the social events, trying to get into some of the local fundraisers and that type of thing, because we have so much beautiful space.
Yes.
And, you know, when we did the bridal fair a couple of weeks ago, we actually, I was amazed to see how many people come here and say, I had no idea what was behind those gates. I came here and it was, and it was almost like you went through the gates and said, wow, look at all this.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want people to see. We want people to come and see us. And this Saturday night we're going to have 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's a good start for us.
It'll be a good opportunity to remind folks again. And of course, not only that, I think you and Katie had talked about, and Craig opened up the opportunity to even auction off some of his services.
Absolutely. Craig took her.
he knows that? Yeah.
Oh, he knows. He knows. I had to pay him a little bit, but he's okay with that. He wants to know how much it's up to at this point. I said we haven't bid on it yet. Yes, he's going to provide a meal in your home for up to 8 people. Absolutely. And we're going to auction that off on Saturday night at the Heartball. Very excited about that.
Wow. Yes.
Very
so
excited.
He will actually come and do a meal in someone's home.
Absolutely.
We've had the chefs year after year from Thoroughbreds doing that. Tom Mullally, who owns a local personal chef business, A Difference in Dining, is doing that. There's folks who are so excited that Craig is doing that, and very thankful again.
Well, this is the type of thing, to say it plainly. I mean, we're in this business, and a lot of times we love to show off when we can. We spend so much time running around and trying to just keep pace with the kind of business we have. When we have an event like this, it gives us a chance to do something a little bit extra. And, we're all, I call us foodies. We're all foodies. I was a foodie for a long time, and I'll always be. I just love talking shop with the chefs and trying to come up with some new stuff to do. And some of the folks in my office, like I mentioned, Erica and Kim, and especially Joe and the whole staff, they just love to do something different. And this year we redid our banquet menus completely. And it's exciting to see some of the new equipment that we're buying to display these things, and just trying to upgrade everything as a whole.
I love it. Carmine, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Carmine Rondinelli coming up next.
Join the fight against heart disease and stroke as Understanding Corporation presents the 13th Annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball. It's a sparkling black tie gala that features a reception, live and silent auction, and gourmet dining. Then, dance the night away with entertainment by Jumpstart. It all takes place on Saturday, February 17th in the Kensington Ballroom at Kingston Plantation. Call now to reserve your seat at the 13th Annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball.
I'm sorry you missed it off camera. We didn't get to talk about Carmine's 10 minutes. 10 minutes of fame as an executive chef, but we did get to talk about all the efforts that the folks here at Embassy Suites and Kingston Plantation are doing behind the scenes to make this Saturday night's event such a big success. It's the 13th Annual American Heart Ball. We didn't get to talk about Carmine entering the Italian bakery there at age 12 and working there throughout high school, but we got to talk about the executive chef here, Craig Tooker, offering his own services to make the Heart Ball a big success. We didn't get to talk about the 4 sports that Carmine played all during high school, even as a star. Was it baseball, football, basketball, one of those great sports, even wrestling. But we did get to highlight the strength of the folks that have been here year after year, making the Heart Ball a success. We're happy to be home. Get out here this Saturday night, 626-3939.